We do start with a live look over the New America Veterans Arena in Spokane. That is where high school basketball teams from across the state of Washington are vying to become state champions. Thanks for being here at 4. I'm Morgan Ashley. Corey Howard is out on assignment tonight. He is leading our crew at the arena covering all things State B basketball as day 2 does continue. And Corey joins us now live from the sidelines. It sounds like you caught up with some refs that are helping keep these important games fair.
Yeah, Morgan, day 2 here at the arena, the State B tournament. We got the Oakdale girls, the Cross Point Christian, also on the girls' side here, 24-8 right now. Oakdale up on that. And then over on the boys' side over here, Tri-Cities Prep. I know we got some viewers in the Tri-Cities here. They're getting ready to take on Okanagan as well. But yeah, plenty of action here on the courts. Two teams battling it out. The fans are focused on that. But there is a silent team that moves in and out of the game with the patience and the precision of a hungry falcon, the eye of an eagle. I could have just said bird of prey there, but yeah, if they're doing their job right, you never really know that they're there in the game. Of course, talking about the refs. And, yeah, the kids on the court's obviously excited to play under the bright lights here of the arena, but it's a big deal for the refs, too. They also come from all over to Spokane to participate in this tournament. And while the kids get to play one game a day, some of these refs officiate for 2 or 3 games a day. I asked one of them what that equates to because they're running up and down the court. He said he actually tracks it with his watch. It's about 4 miles a game, so 3 games, 2 games. They're potentially running up to a half marathon a day, broken up, of course. But cardiovascular health aside, there is a preparation that goes into this. The refs are basically the third team out there on the floors.
The game's in our hands, so it's just important to really make sure people are doing the right job. It's just a different perspective. Everyone knows how the game is played and how things should look, but the referees are making sure that everyone's taking the right role within the game, and just making sure that everything goes smooth. So just always know that there's something that you don't know. And if you think someone's got the wrong call, then maybe you should think about signing up and figure out if it's the right call.
They're the silent team out there. They're ninjas. A lot of analogies going on about the refs, but Taylor says there is a mental preparation that happens. All that noise from the fans, Taylor says it takes some practice to block it out, to focus on the game and the players, but he's got that down. And these officials want to put their best foot forward. They're actually being graded on their performance as well. So if something's out of whack, Taylor says, as you just heard there, every ref that I've talked to, they've said, we're looking for more refs. So if you want to get in on the action there, go be a ref yourself. But State B, a huge opportunity for a lot of the players here who might be performing in front of the biggest crowds that they ever have. That includes, of course, the teams, the bands, the squads. And 5-year-old drummers are no older. On a 5-year-old drummer today. Noah, tell us all about it.
Well, Corey, this drummer caught my attention right away. I was standing right where I'm at right now between the courts as a band was setting up next to me. And one of the drummers, well, he caught my attention a little bit more than the rest. And that's interesting because he's also kind of easy to miss behind some of that very large gear. But he does have red dyed hair to support Brewster, which is the team that he drums for. His mom works as their band tech, and little Jack, that's his name, he's passionate about his team.
One day he just started hitting things with a drumstick, and next thing you know, he's playing a drum pad. And it's kind of just gone from there.
He wants to be included. He wants to be part of the team. And that's, we've always kind of given him that option, and he chooses that option.
Dude, how cool is it to be performing at State B?
I don't know.
And I don't know if the people watching were able to tell, but I thought it was pretty cool that his drumsticks, when he would hit them to play the music, they would light up in team colors. That's red for Brewster. He's got all of the team spirit needed. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolton. NonStop Local.
Thank you, Noah. Inside look at referees and 5-year-old drummers. That's just the start of the stories we have for you here on day 2 of the State B tournament at New America Veterans Arena here in Spokane. A lot of fun happening here. We're having a great time, trying to stay energized, trying to stay up. We're getting tired out here, Morgan, but we are having a blast doing it.
No, you guys are sounding great, but we are really curious, Corey. We have to ask you. The fast has ended. People who weren't with us yesterday, Corey was fasting yesterday.
Which is
How are
crazy.
you feeling today, and have you eaten?
Yes, I finished my 24-hour fast last night at around 8 o'clock, and as soon as the clock struck 8 o'clock, I was in my fridge just scouring anything I could eat, like a boll weevil going through a Stetson hat. So I was... I don't know if it did anything, because as soon as the clock ran out, I immediately just started eating anything I could find.
Yeah,
so.
that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
But good for you, Corey, sticking out the first day of state B with no food from the concession stand. That's hard to do.
All right, now hopefully he'll go get some waffles.
Yeah,
while
we
he's
need to
there.
hear about it.
Or the French fries, or whatever it might be, because that's kind of one of the best parts of being out there.
Look at the
skies.
Are they really this dark?
They're ominous right now because we have pop-up showers. And we've
Okay.
actually had reports of some grapple in different areas. So it's being a little bit feisty out there. Pop-up showers for the most part. The heaviest amounts are over to the east of us, but we're seeing some of that right here in the metro area. I'm going to give you a first look now at the mountain passes. So far, so good out there. We're still looking for hit and miss chances for some mountain snow as we wrap up the work week. Otherwise, valley floor is looking pretty good. Daytime highs today, 50 degrees. We hit 44 degrees over towards Coeur d'Alene. Mid to upper 40s and 50s from Pullman down through Lewiston. Upper 40s and 50s for Winthrop into Brewster. 57 degrees right now in Moses Lake. And we are in the 60s, sitting in the 60s for the Tri-Cities. So mild temperatures out there above our averages. Still a little bit breezy, especially back through parts of central Washington. Eastern Washington over towards North Idaho. Strongest winds have been down through the Palouse into the LC Valley. Otherwise, places like Ellensburg's Moses Lake seeing sustained winds 20-25 miles per hour. Down across the gorge, we're seeing some wind gusts approaching that 40-45 mile per hour mark. So 2 hands on the wheel if you're headed out on the roadways. Can be a little bit inconvenient if you've got anything loose out on your patio. And of course, if it's garbage day as well, keep an eye on that garbage can. There's a look at our satellite radar. You can see that little band kind of sweeping through right over the top of us, again bringing us the ominous clouds and those pop-up showers. It looks like we've got a couple of lightning strikes that have popped up there for the northern panhandle, fizzling out. So short-lived, but those little pop-up showers can bring the threat of brief but heavy downpours, and again some grapple kind of mixed in there as well. As we head overnight tonight, like I said, a few flurries are possible as we get you into the overnights. A lot of that is going to be south and east of us, relatively quiet. Otherwise, as we get you into the day tomorrow, overnight lows tonight hovering just at freezing and just above for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Upper 20s, low 30s up across the northern mountains, and then we've got mid to upper 30s back through central Washington and the basin. This weekend, Morgan, looks pretty quiet. There's a big pattern change, though, on the way for next week. So if we thought we were done with mountain snow just yet, I don't think so. And actually, the valley floors could see a little bit as well.
Oh, of course, that one last blast.
One last blast.
That's
we got to have it.
Works, right? Okay, well, across America tonight, new leadership is coming to the Department of Homeland Security after President Donald Trump announced DHS Secretary Kristi Noem will be stepping down. In a post on Truth Social, the president said Noem served well as Secretary of Homeland Security, appointing her as the new head of a security initiative that's actually set to be announced this weekend. Shortly after the announcement, Noem took to a podium. This was at an annual law enforcement conference in Tennessee.
We have all kinds of new challenges, and that's why President Trump is undertaking going after the cartels by addressing it from the Western Hemisphere.
Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin has been selected to replace her, stepping in as secretary at the end of the month. Noem has been under fire following the deadly shootings of 2 U.S. citizens by federal immigration agents in Minneapolis. Across the Northwest tonight, Kennewick police say 4 massage businesses are shut down following a sting targeting prostitution and possible human trafficking. This is part of an ongoing effort to crack down on illegal businesses in the city. NonStop Locals' Isaiah Bernal spoke with police as well as victim advocates about the latest crackdown and, of course, the help that is out there for these victims. Isaiah.
Yeah, Morgan, Kennewick police say this investigation took months to put together and relied heavily on tips from the community. In Tuesday's operation, detectives shut down 4 massage businesses, citing 3 owners with permitting prostitution and arresting another owner. Kennewick police also say that 3 possible human trafficking victims were identified and connected with support services.
I mean, when you have people that are willing to pay for those services, there's people willing to sell or, accommodate that.
Detectives, the Criminal Apprehension Team, and the Metro Drug Task Force worked together to investigate several massage businesses suspected of illegal activity. Police say these types of investigations take time and manpower to build before officers move in. In this case, 4 businesses were ordered closed, and police identified 3 potential victims of human trafficking. Advocates say situations like this show how trafficking can hide in plain sight.
Cases like this remind us that exploitation and trafficking can happen in many places, including businesses that appear ordinary. And so it can happen at massage parlors and anywhere in the community.
Police say this isn't the first time they've had to shut down massage businesses in Kennewick. Investigators say operations like this happen multiple times a year as new locations appear across the city.
They move around a lot, and we're not getting the same owners that are opening these places up. They're different LLCs or different people from out of state are the ones that are on the business license.
Advocates say once victims are identified, the focus shifts to getting them help. That can include emergency support, housing, food, and safety planning through local organizations. They also say victims don't always come forward right away.
There are a lot of reasons why it may seem like a victim is non-participating or non-cooperative. When people are in situations where they are under control or fear or have concerns about accessing their basic needs.
Advocates encourage community members to stay aware of suspicious activity and report concerns if something doesn't feel right.
This is not a victimless crime, as a lot of people would like to think or like to say. It's not true.
And advocates say anyone who may be experiencing exploitation or trafficking can reach out for help through local support organizations like SART, which offer free and confidential services and a 24-hour crisis line. Kennewick Police also add that they're going to continue operations like this throughout the year, and they're also asking residents to keep reporting suspicious activity. Live in Kennewick, I'm Isaiah Bernal, NonStop Local.
All right, thanks so much, Isaiah. Still to come here on NonStop Local at 4. Caught on camera the moment a plane crashes over a Phoenix neighborhood, what we know about the cause, and how many people were injured.
And we have seen some pop-up showers, a bit of graupel out there from time to time. We'll talk about that, get a full look at that weekend forecast and some big changes on the way for next week when I see you back here right after the break. And welcome back. Let's get you out the door. Yakima, Tri-Cities, you're looking pretty good. Temperature sitting in the mid-50s for the Yakima Valley. Currently sitting at 61 degrees in the Tri-Cities, just a little bit cooler at 50 degrees here in Spokane. And you can see the ominous clouds in the back shop there. Yes, we are continuing to see those pop-up showers push through overhead in Spokane. Reports right now at the Spokane International Airport of some light rain. Also some light rain over towards Coeur d'Alene as that band pushes down towards St. Mary's across the Silver Valley and into Lookout Pass. We've also got a little bit of light activity pushing down towards Grangeville as well. So we'll look for mostly cloudy skies tonight, maybe a few pop-up flurries that will continue. Otherwise, overnight lows tonight, 32 degrees in Spokane, just above that freezing mark for our friends over towards Coeur d'Alene, 31 degrees up towards Sandpoint. We've got mid-30s for Lewiston and Orofino, back into central Washington. A little bit warmer for places like Wenatchee at 38 degrees. We've got upper 30s down down through the Tri-Cities, Yakima Valley overnight tonight, checking in at 36 degrees. So that tops off the lowdown for tomorrow. Again, possibly a few flurries as you're headed out the door tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we'll call for mostly cloudy skies. Pretty quiet as we head through the weekend. We've got that brief ridge of high pressure that will build in, and temperatures actually bump up into the 50s as we head towards Saturday and Sunday. But then that big pattern change moves in for next week. So for our evening tonight, there again, pop-up showers. You can see a little bit of lingering activity over across the Idaho-Montana state line. Some activity down through eastern parts of Oregon and over towards central Idaho and western Montana. This is as we get you into that midnight hour. Again, mostly cloudy skies expected on the east side of the state. The west side of the state, that's where we've got this next band that is pulling through. It does look like for the most part is going to hold back towards that northwest corner. Parts of the Yakima Valley could pick up a little bit of light activity as we head into tomorrow evening. And that is kind of the story as we head into Friday evening. Otherwise, again, that brief ridge of high pressure building in, daytime highs as we get you into the day tomorrow, hovering right there within the mid-40s for 46 degrees in Spokane, 44 degrees tomorrow into Coeur d'Alene as well as Priest River, and we've got mid-40s down towards Rosalia as well. Look at the 50s popping up across the northern mountains from Brewster into Omak. We've got upper 40s tomorrow for Colville and for Tooele, low to mid-40s expected into the panhandle of Idaho. For areas back towards the Cascade Valleys and across the upper Columbia Basin, temperatures near that 60-degree mark. Moses Lake at 57, 57 Othello, and then we've got 56 degrees expected tomorrow in Wenatchee. Over towards Montana, mid to upper 40s, so not too bad. We've got upper 40s and 50s for the LC Valley, but we do pop back down into the 40s for places like Pullman at 44 degrees and 42 degrees expected into Grangeville. You can see pretty quiet into the weekend. Then we start to ramp things back up again overnight Sunday into Monday. We've got temperatures that take a drop from the 50s back into the 40s. Overnight lows falling below that freezing mark, and that's where we could see a little skip of snow here for the valley locations. The mountain locations, specifically mountain passes, we'll be keeping a close eye on those. Again, still need to be prepared for that winter type travel, even though we're set to spring forward on Sunday. All right, we'll take a break. We'll see you back here right after this.
After this experience, it's made me realize the beauty of saving lives, and I would like to do it to other people.
So an Arizona teen is lucky to be alive after an accident. This was last August. 14-year-old Zayad Alushamimi was hit by a truck while riding his bike to school. This was in Glendale.
Wow, he was pinned under the truck fighting for his life. Now, when first responders arrived, he was in critical condition. The team was rushed to the hospital and he did survive, but the local newspaper had reported that Zayed had died. His family still has a copy of that newspaper, but Zayed is very much alive.
As you just saw there,
yes.
Right? And now 7 months later, the high school freshman's back walking after that accident. On Wednesday, he was able to reunite with the firefighters who came to his rescue. Wow.
So glad he's okay.
That is wild.
But what a wild story to have the newspaper report that you didn't make it, and he's like, I'm right here.
And also to be that young and have to
be
deal
that
with that.
young. Yes, that's a lot.
Geez. Well, I'm sure that reunion was emotional for everybody involved.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
If you had to ask what the best day of the state basketball tournaments are, Saturday comes to mind. Of course, we crown champions, but Thursday is my personal favorite. Teams that had byes getting into the mix and teams that avoided elimination trying to continue a path to a championship. Quarterfinal game in the 1B boys bracket, DeSales meeting Liberty Christian for a spot in the semifinals. Fast start for the Irish. They get the ball to Cohen Wood. He hits the floater. A 9-0 run to open the game for the Irish. But Liberty Christian, who lost to DeSales twice this year, got rolling. Nye Kumsey comes off the screen and buries that one. DeSales answering back, this time on the drive. Spencer Green takes it to the rim and gets the finish. DeSales up double figures in the first half. But Liberty Christian would not go away. Trevor Hawk knocking down the three. This game ends up going to overtime. DeSales gets the win 78-74. They move on to the semifinals. They will play Friday at 3:45 against Lummi Nation. Liberty Christian goes to the consolation bracket. Defending 2B girls champion Northwest Christian taking on Davenport for the fourth time this season. Gorillas had it going early. Glenna Soliday out to Taylor Lebret, three on the way, and the shooter's roll is good. Then Soliday getting the pass from Mariah Lebret, and she'll knock it down for Davenport. Good start for the Gorillas, but the Crusaders, Clarice Carey gets it into Juliana Pope. Turnaround shot from the sophomores good as the Crusaders draw a little closer. Then it's Caitlin Waters picking up a screen. She'll stop and line up the triple, tying up the game, but thanks to a big fourth quarter, Davenport gets the win over the defending champions. The Gorillas are moving on to face Reardon in the semifinals. The Crusaders head to the consolation bracket. 1A boys quarterfinals. We're over in Yakima now, facing Chelan and Zilla. Luca Folletto of the Mountain Goats with the layup there. Answering for the Leopards, Buda Aranda, as these teams go back and forth. This time it's Chelan and Trevor Folletto with the spin and the mid-range jumper. That one's good. But Zilla responding, Aranda sending it into the corner. Memphis Jones lines up and knocks down another triple. And in the end, the number 1 seed Leopards pulled away as Aranda will hit another from downtown off the double team kick out. A fun ball game. Zilla ends up getting the win. The Leopards are off to the semifinals. They'll play at 3:45 Friday. For Chelan, they've still got a path to a trophy in the consolation bracket. We've got many more highlights up on our website right now, swxlocalsports.com. We're back.
Well, Tri-Cities friends, we have to say goodbye to you. And Isaiah says you got blue skies, but we do not here in Spokane. It's very dark out there.
I mean, it's kind of crazy that there's a dark cloud overhead. Don't worry. The good news is when we get a dark cloud overhead, it moves on.
It will.
It will move on.
It'll say hello and goodbye.
Yes, hello and goodbye. This one will probably bring in some brief, quick hitting showers and maybe even a little bit of grapple. Okay. So keep your eye out for that. Otherwise, we're good to go.
All right. Tri-Cities, Yakima, we love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Bye.
Bye.
Corey Howard and Leslie Lowe with content that connects our community. You're watching NonStop Local KHQ at 4:30.
It is day 2 of the State Beat Tournament at New America Veterans Arena in Spokane, and it's packed with games and, of course, plenty of excitement for everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Morgan Ashley. Corey Howard has been at the arena for us all day, and he is bringing us the stories behind the action today. Corey joins us now live. Corey, how are you feeling? How are things going?
It's day 2, Morgan, of the State Beat Tournament. Things are going great out here. You know, for the past 2 days, it has been loud here in the arena. Of course, the fans, the cheerleaders, the pep bands, the whistles. But above all of that, there is one voice that rises above the din, and that is the voice of Scott Moore. Well, Scott and 3 other public address announcers here at the arena. Scott spends his days at the tournament announcing about 15 games over the course of 4 days, letting the fans know what's going on in the game, who fouled who gets the jump ball, who drained the three-pointer. Scott actually taught for many years at Freeman, who is also in this tournament this year, and so he knows what it means to these kids to hear their name blast through the arena, and he does not take that responsibility lightly.
For 2, State B is awesome. It's fantastic. I mean, when you got all schools shutting down. You got towns shutting down to come here, and just the excitement here. People love being around it. That's what I love. I love being here. We do what we can to make it a fun time, and you realize that these kids have worked hard to get here, so we want to have them have memories when they go home.
Yeah, and he said there's a lot of prep work that goes into being a public address announcer. Of course, learning the names, learning the pronunciations, and also taking care of his voice. He told me his son is actually in a band, and his son taught him, sort of turned him on to throat coat tea, so he's become a big fan of that. And on top of that, Scott says just being here at State B, being the announcer, that's a position that's actually very highly sought after, very hard to get into, because once you're in the public address announcer role here at the State B tournament, you just don't leave. You don't give it up, which just kind of speaks to the love of the tournament. All these small towns across Washington coming together here, and for 4 days of basketball, 4 days of fun basketball, with all those teams coming to Spokane, one local Spokane business opening up its doors to those teams. The players here saying that that is actually having an impact. NonStop Locals Noah Bolter spoke to that business owner and joins us now down on the floor. Hey, Noah.
Well, Corey, you think about some of the teams heading out here for State B, some of them traveling 2, 3, 4, 6, maybe even 7 hours away just to be here. So the question is, how do they warm up when they get here? Well, take a look at this. We got footage from literally today at the warehouse of the Adna boys getting a workout. The warehouse, it's a basketball facility off Hamilton near I-90, just 10 minutes away from the Spokane Arena. And according to Jared Ticker with the warehouse, they have been offering visiting teams a free warm-up for the past 5 years. Today alone, 16 teams took them up on that offer.
The teams are always super grateful, and that's what keeps us doing it, is when they come back and say, hey, this was a huge part of our success, or just the experience overall that they got a chance to do something like that. It's a no-brainer for us.
Well, and Ticker says several eventual champions have taken him up on that offer. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolter, NonStop Local.
All right, Noah, thank you very much. It's just great to see the city of Spokane welcome all these towns here for this tournament. It's fun to come down. I mean, you got 2 more days left of this tournament, so come on down. Even if you don't have a dog in the fight, you don't have a team to support, just being down here watching some great basketball, it certainly makes it all worth it. Right now on the girls' side, Oakdale's up by 12 over Cross Point Christian. And then behind me, Okanagan Tri-Cities Prep just went into overtime on the boys' sides, or not overtime, halftime. Excuse me. So we got a lot more basketball to go here on day 2, and then, of course, day 3 and 4, Morgan.
You know what you need up there, Corey, because you're so high up? You need like a giant sign that you can hold.
Yeah.
So they can see you up there in the corner.
And yeah, say hi to Corey.
Come say hi to Corey and everybody.
No one's paying attention to me. They're watching basketball.
No, I know, but that's what I was saying. You need a big sign so you can say hi to everybody. Yeah. But your point of view is
if you guys want to make one, sure.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
Thank
poster
you,
making then happening between shows.
Literally. Yeah, so this sky cam, you can see the arena. Hopefully we can take the other sky cam because our weather is doing some strange
really quick
stuff.
and show this
the one over I-90 is, yep,
there we go. Okay, so we do have this big black ominous cloud right over the top of us, and you can see a bit of a rainbow coming out on the other side. Yeah, so moving over the top of us, we did see some light rainfall. We are seeing some rain from Post Falls over towards Coeur d'Alene. So once that cloud just keeps on moving, we should be fine. There you go. We should be fine. That black cloud always does hang over you for a few minutes, and then once it's gone, it feels so much better. All right, here's a look at what our current temperatures are. 50 degrees in Spokane, 44 in Coeur d'Alene. We're at 46 degrees currently in Pullman, and 43 degrees for our friends in Chihuahua. Wind speeds have been kind of feisty on and off throughout the day, especially back through central Washington, where we've seen some of those strongest wind gusts anywhere from 40 to 45 miles per hour. You can see that from Ellensburg up towards Wenatchee into Pendleton and over towards the Dalles. Our strongest wind gust in the last 24 hours is 23 miles per hour. Again, that's here in Spokane and over towards Coeur d'Alene. You can actually see big picture scenario here on our satellite radar, that little band kind of pushing through. We actually picked up a lightning strike up towards Sandpoint. So within those little cells, we're getting some brief heavy downpours as well as some reported graupel. We have some video from a viewer up on Sunset Hill. I'll try to get that in for the 5 o'clock hour. But again, those quick hitting little systems creating some some issues there. They will continue to clear out as we head overnight tonight. I can see a few lingering flurries taking place as we head into early tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we'll call for mostly cloudy skies. Overnight lows tonight on the chilly side, sitting right at freezing and or just above for Spokane. And over towards Coeur d'Alene, 31 tonight at Sandpoint, 30-degree temperatures up towards Colville. And then we've got mid to upper 30s between Wenatchee and Moses Lake down into the Tri-Cities. All right, when we see you back here in just a few minutes, we'll get a look at that weekend forecast. Everybody's working for the weekend. It looks like a pretty good one. Morgan.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Leslie. Well, new tonight at 4:30, a Spokane County intersection requesting a makeover to improve safety. 20-year-old Ava Allen lost her life while crossing the road at West Hastings Road and West Bellwood Drive. Spokane County commissioners announced a new pedestrian safety improvement plan for that area, which is right near Meade High School. And NonStop Local's Melinda Lee went to the site. She joins us now with more on the plan to make it safer, especially for school-age walkers. Melinda.
Yes, Morgan, it was this intersection just behind me where earlier this year that woman crossing the road lost her life. So I'm going to have my cameraman Robbie now show you across the street where Eva Allen's photo, flowers, balloons memorialize her along West Hastings Road. Well, the whole Fairwood community felt that tragedy, and one father made it his mission to prevent future tragedies with those new safety features for pedestrians.
I heard from neighbors, I heard from students, business owners in Fairwood, and they were all saying the same thing. We need to see a safer crosswalk, and so I made a commitment to get that done, and we are moving forward with improvements now.
West Hastings Road and West Bellwood intersect. He saw a lot of students walking from their parked cars across the street to Meade High School. Well, now he's excited to see this crosswalk made safer for those kids and others who use the area, like people living in the Fairwood Retirement Village and assisted living. Vista Utilities actually already installed lighting to improve nighttime visibility at this intersection. And next, a flashing beacon will be added. And Jordan says the community came together to help fund that $25,000 beacon project, and he says the beacon could be up and running in about 2 months if all goes to plan. He also said there's still plans for more improvements, like extending the school zone behind me past Bellwood. Reporting live in Spokane County, I'm Melinda Lee for NonStop Local. Morgan.
Thanks so much, Melinda. Coming up here for NonStop Local at 4:30, a winter with little to no snowfall coming to an end. We take a look at yesterday's rain totals and the record that one city broke. Plus, a major history museum securing some iconic pieces of pop culture to highlight how they shaped American history, which does bring us to our question of the day. What superhero do you consider most iconic? This has been dividing our newsroom today. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back right after this.
And welcome back. After a rather warm and mild winter, it certainly has been. The inland northwest is finally getting some rain and snow up in the mountains, but it doesn't look like it'll be enough to ease concerns about water resources heading into the hot summer months. And NonStop local meteorologist Justin Spinney, my good friend, takes a look at the rain totals we saw across the region yesterday and compares them to some of those historic averages. Here's what he found out.
A wide variety of rainfall totals yesterday across the inland northwest. Areas like Wenatchee not seeing anything, but the headline is what we saw farther south. Take a look at the Palouse. Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport, over 9/10 of an inch of rain. That's the highest single-day rainfall total in over a year. You have to look back even longer to see a rainfall total like this in the LC Valley, over 8/10 of an inch at the Lewiston-Nez Perce County Airport. That's the highest single-day rainfall total dating all the way back to May of 2020. And not only that, for the LC Valley, that is a new single-day record for March 4th at over 8/10 of an inch. So some areas getting a lot of rain yesterday, some areas not getting very much. Definitely drier conditions today.
All right, breaking records. We don't mind that when it comes to rainfall. We certainly needed it. Justin, thank you so much. All right, let's get a look at that weather forecast. Yakima at 55 degrees, 61 degrees currently. For our friends in the Tri-Cities, Spokane sitting at 50 degrees. We have that big black cloud move right over the top of us, heading over towards Coeur d'Alene. So we're still seeing some showers that direction. Looks like we'll start to see things wrap up here for Spokane. Satellite radar actually showing that band pushing through. We did have a lightning strike that popped up just across Sandpoint. That band is going to continue to shift off to the south and to the east as we head through the next hour or so. And we'll look for mostly cloudy skies for tonight. Maybe a few lingering flurries, especially over to the east of us into North Idaho. Temperatures tonight dropping down to freezing and or just above. For Coeur d'Alene at 33, 31 tonight. Sandpoint 30-degree temperatures. For Colville back into central Washington, mid to upper 30s between Omak and into Wenatchee. Upper 30s tonight in the Tri-Cities as well as Walla Walla, and then we're in the mid-30s for Lewiston and Orofino. My friends down towards Grangeville will check in tonight at 30 degrees. So that tops off the lowdown for tomorrow. Again, maybe a few lingering flurries to kick things off, otherwise mostly cloudy skies. And that really is the story as we head not only through our Friday but into Saturday and Sunday. We get a nice little bump in temperatures as well for the weekend, and then big changes are on the way as we head into this next week. So time-wise, with what we're seeing out there this afternoon, very pop-up in nature, very spring-like actually, and you can see those little pops of showers continue to push off. Again, like I said, to the south and to the east of us, there's the clearing skies. We do have a system. If you're traveling to the west side of the state, you can see it here kind of pulling up across that northwest corner, so likely going to see some wet conditions on the west side of the state, likely going to see some snow and or rain-snow mix across those mountain passes. But for the most part, we're going to hold off those showers again, mainly to the north and to the west until we get you into the overnight hours, and then that band kind of pushing through the northern mountains there. There's that ridge kind of pushing off into the Pacific. That begins to pull in as we head towards the weekend, which is going to give us that bump in temperatures. Now for tomorrow, we're still holding right there in the mid-40s, so 46 in Spokane, 44 degrees for Post Falls, Priest River, Coeur d'Alene, 44 in the Spokane Valley, and 45 degrees our high tomorrow into Rosalia. At the northern mountains, we pop into the 50s, so mid-50s for Omak and for Brewster, upper 40s around Colville and Chouila, upper 40s continue over towards Bonners Ferry, and then 42 degrees are expected high into Sandpoint. For the Cascade Valleys, we've got mid to upper 50s, near 60-degree temperatures from Chelan into Moses Lake and Othello at 57, and then upper 40s and 50s between Highway 2 and down towards Ritzville. Montana tomorrow, mid to upper 40s. We've got 43 in the Silver Valley, 42 degrees into Grangeville, and then we'll call for mid to upper 40s and 50s between the Palouse and the LC Valley with a high 51 degrees in the Tri-Cities. So limited chances of showers. Really what we see as we get you into tomorrow evening does look to kind of hang up across the northern mountains there. We'll take a break for the weekend. We'll ramp things back up again overnight Sunday into Monday with that next series of storms on the move. This next series, as we get you into this next week, is going to bring in some mountain snow that will affect our mountain passes. Please keep that in mind, and we'll likely see a bit of a rain snow mix and or some snowfall at the valley floors as well. We'll watch that very closely as we're watching those overnight lows dip down below freezing. Time and temperatures this time of the year to everything. We'll see you back here after this.
Well, trending tonight, some iconic comic books are heading up, and away to the Smithsonian for a public display.
Yeah, the 2 books that birthed superhero icons will be available to the public at the National Museum of American History in Washington, D.C. The Smithsonian announced that it acquired Action Comics issue 1 from 1938, introducing the world to Superman. He started the superhero genre and kicked off the golden ages of comics. He remains a major superhero 90 years later in pulp culture.
That's incredible. The second comic is Marvel's Captain America #1, dating back to 1941. It shows the superhero smashing Hitler in the face months before America entered World War II. The Superman comic will go on display in late April, and the Captain America one will be on display this fall.
Yeah, the Smithsonian considers both comics historically significant, with the characters and themes playing a major role in American culture. They really do. Yeah, we all know. Yeah, 90 years later, they're looking pretty good.
They are.
Not bad. I need to do whatever they're doing.
Yeah, that's right. Give us your tips. But also the throwback comics are really cool to look at.
Yeah, they're so much fun.
Yeah. Well, it does bring us to our question of the day. We asked you, what superhero would you consider to be the most iconic? And it looks like Superman is in the lead with 47%, Batman 31%. And then really it just drops off from there. Black Widow at 12%.
I would say Superman. Definitely Superman.
And how does Spider-Man not have?
I don't know. Spider-Man doesn't have any. I would have put that a little bit more.
People are voting. It's literally changing while it's on the screen. So people are trying to get Batman up there. That's interesting.
And the Incredible Hulk, I'm surprised he doesn't have more than that.
Yeah.
But Superman, it kind of seems to me to be the runaway
You
choice.
would think.
Yeah.
So here, look at those results. Currently a tie, as we said. Okay, so we went, we're going to get to one of these responses. Okay, so Carson said, everyone knows the right answer to this is Spider-Man. Should be criminal that he isn't listed. Spider-Man, he can do all things a spider can. Yeah. I don't disagree, Carson.
I don't disagree either, Carson. I agree with you.
There we go. And that is all. We'll be back after this.
Live from the Northern Quest Sports Studio. This is SWX NonStop Local Sports.
If a team is playing today in the state basketball tournament, they are just 3 wins away from a state championship. So close, but not there quite yet. Fans came out for this 3-seed versus 4-seed matchup between Brewster and Reardon in the 2B girls bracket. Reagan Soliday over to Tenise Waters down low. She'll fake the shot, get the defender to jump, and goes for the bucket. And the Screaming Eagles on the board. It's Waters' show here. She'll drive, dump it into Ryland Green. That's another 2 for Reardon. But on the other end of the floor, it's Lizzie Ramirez pulling up in traffic and somehow banks that one in. Unreal touch by the sophomore, and 1 bucket as well. Here, though, it's Waters to Waters. Chasen drives and forces this one in. Just so smooth. As Reardon goes on to win, they are off into the semifinals and will play 5:30 on Friday. Brewster heads to the consolation bracket. A finish as high as 4th place still on the table. After a bye on Wednesday, the Clarkston Bantam girls took on Nathan Hale in their first game over at the Yakima Sundome. Raiders pulled the upset yesterday, looking to do it again. Aubrey Baker lines up, knocks down a 3. But don't be fooled, this one was all Clarkston. Jalen McCormick marks over to Anissa Judy, lines up the three right in front of our camera. Here's Presley Dempsey bringing it up the floor. You're not going to guard me? Fine. Three more on the board courtesy of the long ball, and here it's Jocelyn McCormick marks a couple of head fakes and blows past her defender for two. Clarkston rolls. They're off to the semifinals to face Linden at 3:45 on Friday. Mount Spokane boys taking on Eastside Catholic in this quarterfinal matchup in Tacoma. That's Cade Strescher with the floater for the Cats. Jaden Goreshi back in the lineup for Mount Spokane, making an impact as he will pull up and hit this three-pointer. And coming up here, he'll drive, but watch the smart move to bounce it over to Jason Rajonen, who will finish at the rim, tied at 10 at this point. We'll pick it up in the second half. It's Tyson Lewis flying in for the dunk, but Eastside Catholic already had it up by 20 at that time. As the Crusaders win it, Mount Spokane's pursuit of a state championship ends here, but they've still got a chance to bring home hardware with a couple of wins in the consolation bracket. We're back.
All right, don't go outside if you don't want to get covered in rain.
Yeah, especially over towards Coeur d'Alene. Right now, we're doing okay, but boy, that was kind of a crazy.
Yes.
It's the big black dark cloud overhead, but you know what? It moved on. The sun's out, and we've got a little bit of a rainbow.
There we go. Sean is next.